flamandes dansent sans rien dire au dimanche sonnant. Les flamandes dansent sans rien dire.
Hi, welcome to another brew review. Tonight I'm going to review a Scotch ale from Quebec, from the Bilboquet Brasseur Artisan, which means the Bilboquet is the name of the brewery, and Brasseur Artisan just means craft brewer. Okay, now let's try it, and before we try it I want to read a little from the label. This is a very, very interesting Scotch ale. It says that it's smooth and complex, rich and generous, and it has old port-like aromatics and intense caramel aromas, and wildflower honey is the key ingredient to this recipe. So it should be very different, I think, than a lot of other Scotch ales I've had. And oh, this is really strong. You can actually smell the honey presence in it. And it's a beautiful, very, very dark color, very dark caramel, darker than a lot of Scotch ales that I've drunk before. Smells beautiful. Mouthfeel is just really, really smooth. Now recently I reviewed another Scotch ale from Cambridge Brewery. This has a much smoother mouthfeel than that Scotch ale. And the finish is very rich. I'm tasting, interestingly enough, not only caramel, but almost butterscotch. Very smooth finish. This is beautiful. Now, I really love Scotch ales. It's probably one of my, I would say it's my actually my favorite style. That and porters. Now, as the beer is warming up a little, I'm getting even a more intense flavor, aroma rather. Now I'm getting caramel, I'm getting that wildflower honey in it, definitely. And I'm thinking, well, it's butterscotch, but it's really, you could mistake it for butterscotch, but it's really the wildflower honey. This is a very special type of Scotch ale. Mouthfeel is just absolutely smooth. You know, that's a problem sometimes. You can have great aroma, really nice, excellent taste, and then the mouthfeel's too carbonated. That was the problem with the Bannatyne ale, the Scotch ale I reviewed. It was an excellent Scotch ale, but I felt that the mouthfeel was just too carbonated and too much of an alcoholic presence. Now this one, you barely taste the alcoholic presence. And the taste, the finish in this is actually, it's slightly lighter. It's not as deep as the Bannatyne ale, and not as deep as I recall, which I haven't had for at least 8 months, the AleSmith Wee Heavy. But I like it. It's very, very smooth. I would call this a distinguished, quite distinguished Scotch ale. It's one of the best ones I've ever had, possibly the best one. I mean, just a beautiful, though it's not heavy, it's a beautiful finish, just smooth. Really smooth. Now, Beer Advocate says to drink it 45 to 50. I don't really understand that. I mean, this is 10.8 ABV. So I'm drinking it. This seems like it's 55 anyway. You know, the warmer the better. Or I refrigerated it for about an hour and a quarter. It'll probably bring it to around 55 Fahrenheit. This is extraordinary. It's really extraordinary. Okay. And as I've said in other reviews, this is a type of beer that you have to really drink small quantities at a time. And the smell is beginning to mellow out. Not less pronounced, but it's beginning to mellow out. It's beautiful. It's like a bouquet. It's a bouquet of honey. And I keep saying butterscotch because that's what I'm getting in here. And for those of you who have had butterscotch candy or any butterscotch flavor, you know what I mean. Beautiful. Okay, a little more. Let's see where we're going with this. Smooth. Really smooth. It's a beautiful finish. This is a class act, folks. Real class act. So, I would say at least a 95 on this. I believe the Beer Advocate Bros gave it world class. It's a distinguished, that's the best adjective for it, a distinguished Scotch ale. So if you can get a hold of it, it's in Quebec. If you have some friends who go there, I had a friend actually bring it back to me. I've never seen this in the States. I highly, highly recommend this. This is probably, or I could say certainly, one of the best Scotch ales you're going to drink. So, until the next time,
Les flamandes dansent sans rien dire,
life
sans rien dire,
is
dimanche
too short.
sonnant. Les flamandes dansent sans rien dire, les flamandes ce n'est pas causant. Si elles dansent, c'est parce qu'elles ont 20 ans, et qu'à 20 ans, il faut se fiancer pour pouvoir se marier.